negative, which is being amplified. And we do not amplify the neutral. That allows for the torque creation. However, when we amplify the neutral, it has an effect of dark matter, meaning this. It does not travel through standard method of travel. It uses time. That's how you are able to go through the time space to get from New York to satellite, New York to say Sacramento or any other place. Okay, it doesn't matter where you're going, and you're using the neutrino field amplified, and you get there seemingly instantly. It's because you're altering the dark matter density frequency, in which allows you instantaneous travel. That's why you don't go pancake when you go from hyperlight, for example. You go from sitting still to hyperlight to sitting still. It's not because you're increasing the speed pertaining to the center of gravity of Earth. It's because you're altering the density frequency of time itself, with the neutrino field being amplified. Now, what does this mean on Earth? You can go from New York to Sacramento or anywhere else you want to go and get there seemingly instantly. What does this mean in space? It means we can get from here to 3 galaxies away seemingly instantly. Now, why am I telling you all this? Because I'm after time traveling criminals. And I believe that when we lost the Enigma in Somalia, Mogadishu, with that Black Hawk, that is when they got to our works. We had began it in the Philadelphia experiment, and that's the way it is. You know, whether we like it or not, we've been compromised. And the people that are making thefts of my copyright, patents, and intellectual properties at this point, well, man, they've already stolen everything. And I've been trying to get the FBI to do their job for 30 years, telling them about it. And they don't listen to me. Why not? All right, my suspicion on that is John James Breckinridge Jr. Okay, now when I studied him, I found out when I was talking to the Department of Revenue in Alabama. You see, he had told me that he no longer practiced. All right, which meant that, well, it can't be him sabotaging it, because he don't practice and he don't tamper with law or anything like that. But then I found out, well, that was a deception. According to the Alabama Department of Revenue, he still practices. Well, why tell me he didn't? So I looked into that. Then I discovered, well, he was captured by the North Vietnamese communists. And according to them, it's an approved communist program. Now, a program. All right, that could have meant anything. So you look at all the other POW disclosures. None of them say approved communist program, with the exception of a few, meaning they did not violate the Geneva Convention. They told us they programmed him. All right, so that's what we're looking at. That's what I'm looking at. A sabotaged FBI with a confessed by the North Vietnamese communists. They confessed they programmed him. Now, what happened in Vietnam was a lot of times we would have our own soldiers killing our own soldiers with no apparent motive. They would go in suicide bomb. They'd go into the jungle, a good U.S. soldier, and they would come back from the jungle killing our own guys. I mean, what kind of sense does that make? Unless they were programmed. All right, now with this engine, we can do things. I'm not even going to say what all we can do, but just figure out. You go from New York to anywhere, practically instantaneously. What does this mean to civilian travel? That means a lot. That means that we can get produce from, say, Central America, where the banana is, and we can get it here to the market in Chicago practically instantly. Yeah, I'm talking about this changes the world as we know it and brings about a new world. Yeah. Now, there's other subjects that I believe fit into all this, but one thing at a time. Right now, just consider that the ionized polaric thruster can go hyperspace, and what that means. And the way it does not do it through torque of gravity. It does not do it with, well, the center of gravity of the planet has a pertainment to the density of the dark matter, meaning the amount of passage of time and the standards that it is within. However, the dark matter density frequency being manipulatable, meaning an apparatus can alter this density frequency and result in what seems to be instantaneous travel from point A to point B, whatever the points are. And from my opinion, this is a great potential. All right, now what leads me to this? Well, they've gone through the trouble of researching it somehow. I mean, for some reason. Hello, NASA. You have a ionized polaric thruster engine with a deep well Mercury hold as your research. And I'm telling you right now that using the amplified effect of the amplified effect of countercharge, and there goes that problem. You no longer need a deep well Mercury hold to amplify the positive. It is a shell with the counterwave amplification effect and a coil inside the shell which does it. And that deep well Mercury hold is no longer necessary. We have proven its validity and function with your research, and that's great. Now, let's take it to the next level. And this is an opportunity in which is being presented right here, right now. Now, what I had intended to do was do this research myself. But since they keep ripping me off and keep stopping me from being able to do this research, I'm now passing it to you. And I'm telling you right now that I believe a programmed infiltrator named John James Breckinridge Jr., according to the North Vietnamese communists, they programmed him. Okay, I believe it. And Eddie Corrigan Jr. fraudulently representing my person the night that I wrote The Flame. I wrote the lyrics to a song called The Flame. Okay, my original plan was pay for my research and my inventions with writing songs. That was my original plan. Well, I see what happened. And every time I come up with another plan, there's something that happens to prevent it that only time travelers could do, such as the hostile executive takeover of the state of Florida. Okay. Anyway, so that's where I'm standing on this date, January 31st, 2020. Thank you for watching.